Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Thursday on Dames and Dorks. I'm Nomiwithoutyou. We're so excited to be here hanging out with you guys. We have a lot to talk about. One's that breaking news, and then we are going to talk about the barnyard explosion trash known as the Acolyte, and kind of going with the breaking news, segueing into that piece of trash, and then also other things that we want to talk about. Like I said, it is a hot mess of a show tonight.
Not a lie.
And we are excited because Smu The DJ is our guest for tonight. So we're excited to have him here. Oh my gosh. Smu, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Yeah. I can't complain. I mean, it's Thursday, my favorite day of the week. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to get the show rolling because we got some exciting stuff to talk about.
We do. And speaking of exciting stuff to talk about, we got Magitek Mags who just came in. But we're going to give her a minute to settle in a little bit. But we got Sevvy as well, who's joining us tonight. Hi, Sevvy.
Mm-hmm. Hello, lovely, wonderful, beautiful people.
Hello. And then also within that too, man, we're getting a whole heck of a panel tonight because we also have Dreaming Tabitha.
Yay! I was gonna private message Lily before I came on and be like, get ready, buckle up. But I thought, I'll just do it live. Let's do it live. She's probably gonna hate. She might hate me by the end of the stream. I don't know.
I saw some of your tweets that you tweeted.
You didn't see that recent one about Austin Butler though.
I'm
just kidding. I didn't.
Be careful with Tabitha. I played party games with her, and she is vicious. You don't think she has it in her, but she has a fire that apparently gets ignited in competitive gaming. She killed me so many times, and after she killed me, she would laugh about it. She'll be like,
"Do you know why? It's because Sevvy's so good, and she was coming after me in the beginning of the game."
Oh, listen to Tabitha.
Sevvy
no, Tabitha trying to justify her.
Of course,
Tabitha's tried to pull the victim card here.
No, it's called strategy. If I don't know what I'm doing and how to get the ball into the goal, then the other option is total defense. Take out the team captain, and that was Sevvy. So it's really a compliment. Yeah, it's like I find her very threatening in the games because she's always so chill, but she's so competent.
And I was so surprised too because Nomi kept winning all the time.
Hey, we were on the team one time. We won.
Yeah, the one time that we won because we know how to do it. We know how to make it work.
Yeah, we in one of the things Nomi was hiding, waiting everybody kill each other.
I was like, I'll let them duke it out, and then whoever's dead, I'll come out the reigning champ.
I was going to say something about that, and then I was like, no, I'll just be quiet. And then Sevvy's the one that ratted her out, and I'm like,
no, I know
Always
if it
the
wasn't
one.
for Sevvy. If it wasn't for Sevvy, I would be the winning champ here. But we have Lily here joining us tonight, and she is our expert on everything because she is blowing up in the Twitter sphere, the X sphere, because she has some thoughts to say, and people are loving it, and people are also hating it. So yes, I'm
embracing the dark side. It's about time.
But there is no dark side, Lily. Stop. Just stop with that nonsense.
No, remember we're one, and then there's two, and then we are all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god! I can't wait to pick it apart. It deserves it.
No,
it's horrible, honestly. But yeah.
But before that, there's breaking news. This is brought by Mags. She just broke this, so
Mags, take it away.
Well, of course, I was just scanning this. I was trying to find other news articles that were going to come out because I wanted to make sure that it was for real. Because it's nothing against Daily Wire. I just want to make sure that there's other news sources out there.
For real,
I did find another news source too. And it is going into discovery phase, which is what the goal was initially. So it's going to mean that things are going to get revealed, y'all. So this is awesome. This literally just broke, like literally just like 5 minutes ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
I know.
And this was literally
fresh off the
this
presses.
was just
folks.
basically this is basically luck and timing on my part that I saw this. So it's not, it's not me that did it. It just, whatever. It just came up on my feed and I was able to catch it. So that's why I wanted to pass it along to you guys. But it's this is a good because at first her message yesterday seemed like it was going to take a while for it to get a decision. So I think with all the prayer warriors out there and people rooting her on, all the good vibes, it clearly made the judge give a swift decision that might mean positively on her part later down the road, hopefully. It doesn't mean it can't be dismissed, but it means it's now in discovery. So that means everything will be revealed.
Oh, yes. And I'm ready for that dirty laundry that Disney has to be aired out.
Oh, yeah. This is not, it's not a good week for Disney. It's definitely.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Yes, I know. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm not really, in a way, I'm not glad that it's a bad week for Disney, but at the same time, like I am. Like it's a double-edged sword because it's just sad. It's just sad.
Well, it's I think we all want Disney to be better, but the problem is it's not being run well by people who care about Disney. We care about Disney.
That is correct.
Yeah, exactly.
We do care about Wednesday.
I mean, this is something that I'm pretty sure all of us grew up with. We don't want to see it fail, but at the same time, if it doesn't, how are they going to change things? I mean, clearly they haven't done anything about it.
It will take a very long time, and Disney is probably one of the last few bastions of entertainment that will turn the ship around, and only because they're losing so much money and they have to do something. That's the main reason why they probably will do it.
I think that even if she wins or they concede or whatever the case might be, I really don't think they're going to make much change. They're just going to give her money, say I'm sorry as a publicity stunt, and that's it.
Yes. And then, well, not only that we are getting this amazing news from Gina, but we also have someone who's in the law sphere. We have Sevvy who can weigh in on this. And Sevvy, like, what's your take on this news that we just received?
Yep. So just a couple of things. I think Magitek Mags kind of mentioned this a little bit too. Like, this is just like one bite at the apple that Disney has to get it dismissed, right? So there are two things generally that kind of go on. I'll try not to be super technical, so if I get too technical, just gonna let me know. The first one is when you file a complaint, you can, the defendant gets the opportunity to say the complaint itself doesn't have enough there to even make a claim. So when you look at the motion to dismiss from Disney that was filed on June 12th of 2024, and I can put the link in chat if you're so interested in it. When you look at it, what Disney was saying was that they had in their contract with Gina provision to say that they will not associate with certain speech. So what they were saying is that because the contract had that provision, then that's a complete defense to her First Amendment claims, right? And I was trying to see if I could find the actual order from the court. I'm assuming they wrote an order and it has a decision, but it's probably super short. But I'm assuming what the court is saying is that before they make that assessment, they probably need to weigh the First Amendment rights with the contract to see if it actually merits so they probably have to actually look at it more in detail. So what that means is, it is going to discovery phase, the discovery phase, can take about 6 months, or it can take a year, depending on what is made there. Yep, that is the motion to dismiss filed by Disney. And so if you go and look at the table of contents, it tells you a little bit about the argument that they have there. And they're basically saying, one is that they should be able, under their First Amendment, to be separated from anybody that has a message that is not theirs. And then, and then they're saying that, she doesn't have that protected speech. So I can dig through some of the stuff and see what I can get. But after the discovery phase goes through, then Disney has another bite of the apple, which is called summary judgment, which means that even if after completing all the discovery, then the question is whether or not she was actually able to prove her case. And that's going to be a really interesting discussion on First Amendment, because they're both talking and relying on the First Amendment.
Yeah.
They really were.
I just say that the more I hang out and hear Sevvy talk, the more I'm like, I just want to grow up and be Sevvy. I mean, she's like, look, she's like a freaking spy or something like that. I mean, she's got all this knowledge, she's got all these computers in the background, like she just knows how to do this and that. Arudai tried to take the credit last night and say he taught Sevvy everything she knows, but I don't believe it. I don't just listen to her. Listen to how smart she is. Look at her.
I mean, there's the meme that Arudai is the Fed, but is he really?
No. Everything he learned from Sevvy. This is impressive.
See? Told you.
But I'm just so interested in like this backwards allegation that they have here, that to say that they themselves have a right to refuse to associate. Well, I guess that's part of the association, right? First Amendment speech is a right to associate with people. It's just a really weird way to push it.
Is it a question, Sevvy? And because I'm not, you need to law explain it to me, basically. And probably other people might have this question: does a corporation have First Amendment rights? That's
a corporation is considered to be a person. I'm trying to remember what case that was in, but it came out, I think, maybe about 10 years ago, and I can find it out. But it came up on political speech. It was around. Oh, actually, hold on. It was around the Affordable Care Act discussions that were happening, and corporations making a stance against abortion. And that question went up all the way to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court said that corporations are considered to be persons, and they're entitled to have their own First Amendment rights, which included speaking out against abortion. And also, I think it was Hobby Lobby. I think it was a Hobby Lobby case. Not on like it's coming to me. Yeah, it's a Hobby Lobby case. Where they said that they didn't want to be associated with employees that had contraception or that did abortion. So that's where it came up. It was the Hobby Lobby case. That's a really good question, Mags.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember. That sounded like, now that you brought up Hobby Lobby, it sounds familiar because that was so long ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good question to ask, because now we're in this weird situation in 2024 where we've had all these situations going on. I'm not going to name all the situations that we've all seen over the last 4 or 5 years. But it's a really good. I mean, this could be a even more definitive what's going to happen here in terms of individuals versus corporations in terms of freedom of speech and freedom of association. So it's like, so if somebody here says one thing, but somebody here says another thing, and they can stay, what does that mean? That doesn't mean like they have freedom of speech.
Well, the other thing is too, I wonder just how many. So Gina's as far as we know, at least in the mainstream, is the only person who had the guts to stand up to this. How many other people has Disney done this to? And they're just sitting in the wings, wishing they had said something. And I wonder what will happen. And we're all saying, like, what will happen? I mean, if Gina wins this, what's going to happen? How many other people might just start popping up and being like, I don't want this to become the brand new Me Too movement for, if you will. But at the same time, it's like, if this is the case, because I hate when stuff like this happens, because then it negates all the people that actually have a problem where maybe Disney was trying to, push under the table or something like that. But I do wonder what will come from this. Because the thing is, I think we can all be in agreement what a role model she has been just to the entire country. Forget Hollywood and whatever. Is that I've heard the speeches. I've been in the live streams of other people that have met her and stuff like that. And when she's at these conventions and people are like, "Thank you for speaking up," and we're just like regular people. We're not even Hollywood people. They're like, "You gave me courage to stand up at my school or to stand up at this, that, and the third." And so it's like she has done so much more. This is so much bigger than an entertainment thing. And I'm here for it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think she just encourages people in general to just speak up a little bit more again, even though she was wrong and other people got a slightly different treatment despite saying the same thing.
Right.
You can definitely tell that people feel encouraged to speak up against this kind of dumb stuff now, and which is very good in my opinion. And I think it should be done more.
Oh, for sure. Right. She is the latest. And there's many of them. She's just the only one that gets as much recognition because she is a celebrity. There are many of them, but they just don't get the recognition. But she is definitely, in my opinion, one of this era, one of America's eras, our era right now, American heroes. Like, I have yet to see somebody like she's kind of like the person you read about in the history books. Right.
Yeah.
I know for years we're like, where are our forefathers? Where are the people that used to fight for freedom and stuff like that we grew up learning about in school? And I'm like, right here. Now they're all over the country, but she's the one that's getting the recognition because of her celebrity. But it's also shining a light more on the people that are taking a stand and are finally speaking up. And it makes me happy. It makes me proud as an American because of all the crap that goes on in our country. There is more good than there is bad. It's just that it doesn't get the recognition that it needs.
I think we need to continue. And of course, I think we all understand the circumstances that we're under in terms of the particular climate we are all in. I think we can all agree that it's a little worrisome. But at least we have a little positive news here. And I think we should all also keep rooting for her and also pray for her.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I'm always very, maybe this is a tinfoil hat because I'm just
wear it proudly, Mags.
But to me, I'm always worried about random people who might do harmful things, and so I pray for safety for everybody involved because this is not an easy case. There's plenty of weirdos out there that could do something, and this is in a way, this is a good win for all of us because we've been dealing with crap for years from a lot of these people who have tried to suffocate and silence us too. And imagine the other actors and actresses that are out there too, who are looking at this case, who also had to be silenced, who couldn't do anything at all and did not have the backing. So I think this is a win overall. And I think this should be, it's one, like I said, it's one battle won. It's not all, in a complete, it's like a war, as much as I hate to say it like that. But it's one battle won, and that's a good step forward to a better outcome. So hopefully we can actually see all the receipts, guys.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Now,
go
ahead, Sevvy.
I'm looking at Pacer because you can get the decisions either on Pacer or in ECF, and they just have a text entry so far of the motion to dismiss. So we might have to wait tomorrow to actually see the actual order.
Okay.
See that. Yeah.
They probably haven't have it official out yet or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I'll put it in chat, but it really comes from Pacer as well. But I'm sure the news media will grab it and then make it public, so we don't have to pay for it.
I've been trying to find, and that's why I've been looking at like Variety, I've been looking at Hollywood Reporter, and all the major places that seem to kind of validate this sort of stuff. So it's kind of like I've been trying.
Yeah, this is more like a public facing, like Pacer Monitor. Like you can see actually, like Pacer is public access to court electronic records, and you use ECF, which is electronic court records, where you can file things. So any person can create an account. You don't have to be a lawyer to do it. But this is more of the public facing of like what is in Pacer at this moment. So I'm sure they'll, they might make an entry probably tomorrow. Just wait for the news media to grab it, make it public, so we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah,
exactly.
The other thing is too is that it won't be per se that great for Regina, because of course she has lost essentially her livelihood because of all this.
Yep.
But even if she loses, in a way she still wins on behalf of all of us, because
exactly,
like the data when she was on, what was that one channel? Oh shoot, PDA, whatever it was called. Oh, I forget. It's like this huge, channel that she was on just a couple of months ago with was it the Iranian guy that's the host or whatever like that? I forget. But anyway, it's a really big channel. Anyway, I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, but they were showing data analysis, and it wasn't necessarily saying that it was all due to her, but the data proves that Disney started losing money massively after they fired her. And so the truth of the matter is that we're all on to Disney now. Like there's no way going back. So even if she were to lose this case, which I hope that she doesn't, because she deserves to be heard, at least go to trial, proof, like show the evidence, let it be justice system, right? That at least deserves that. But I hope that she gets her life back as far as that is concerned. But the thing is that they have already done the damage. Her name is, now it's a divisive thing, just the way that Star Wars is now. And so it's just, but the thing is that unfortunately, it took something like this for everybody to really wake up. And we already see what Disney is now. So win, lose, or draw, Disney still loses at the end. Of it. Lost thousands, millions of dollars, and they've also lost their credibility. So
I think Americans also need a hopeful story, and maybe Gina's court case will be one of those, because we know we desperately need more like positive things again.
Yeah.
And I also just looked the channel up that you were talking about is PBD.
PBD. I know I didn't want to be like PBS because it's not PBS, but I mean, maybe that's the kind of stuff we should be watching on PBS, but it's not. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, if you really think about it, look how Gina was treated and how a certain other individual who said similar things was being treated, and you see the bias that's going on inside of Disney itself already. And I think maybe this court case will help Disney reconsider their ways a little bit. I mean, Disney will be the last people to change, but still, you never know. All we can hope.
Hope springs eternal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Now, Sevvy, I have a question. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Lily. Ask what you were going to say.
I was just going to say that this is just really great news. And anytime that I see her winning with anything, it's just, it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Like I saw this when Mag sent it and I was like, screaming my head off. I had to tell everybody because I was like, you guys, look what just happened. I mean, I know it's a big win for all of us too, but like, I'm glad that she at least gets to, like Tabitha said, that she deserves to be heard. They silenced her so bad. They smeared her so bad. And she deserves to tell her side of the story. I mean, we've heard it, but more people need to know exactly what happened to her.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Now, Sevvy, I have a question. Like, how long would this go into? Like, what's the time process in all of this now that we got this information?
Let's see. Well, they should have had like a pre-trial deadline, setting everything out. So, and that should say it. It's kind of hard to assume because generally what happens when you have a case and you're litigating the case or in front of the judge, you have a pre-trial conference, which I believe is like Rule 26. So you have a pre-trial conference when you show up to the judge's chambers with opposing counsel, you grab your calendar, and then you pick dates on when everything is going to be, what the deadline is going to be for everything. So I'm assuming they had to do that already. And so it's kind of hard to say. I don't think they have shared it. I can Google to see if it's out there, but generally I would say, like I said, like this, assuming they go to discovery and discovery starts now, right? Or it starts pretty soon. You know, discovery can be anywhere between 6 months to a year. And part of the discovery is grabbing documents and then having depositions with folks. So that would be grabbing them. They sit in a conference room with you and the court reporter, and you know, sometimes they're recorded in video, sometimes they're not. And then after all of that, then you have time to prepare for summary judgment motion if that's what they're doing, or to prepare to oppose it. And if you survive summary judgment, which always, I mean, when you look at the statistics, I would say most cases get dismissed, I believe, in a motion to dismiss right now, because the standard to do a complaint has to be, you have to be very specific, and you have to kind of show proof in a way that you have a case. Then when you go to the summary judgment motion, I would say most cases get dismissed at that stage. I don't really know anything about what evidence they might have or not have, or what the standard might be. So, you know, we'll find out there if they have a motion and if they have a court hearing for the motion, then they might get a ruling on that maybe in a month or 3 months. So, assuming they do discoveries for maybe say 6 months or 8 months, and they have motion practice. So that's about 3 months, and they have the hearing, and then they wait for the decision. That's a month, which then they can appeal. So if they appeal it, that could be potentially another 3-4 months, depending on how far up they go in the appeal. I mean, it's really hard to say.
Okay.
Well, as long as she doesn't get the judge from New York, we'll be all right.
Yeah, that's the only worry I have, that she might get a biased judge.
I'm sorry. Did I say that? Did I say that? Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did.
I hope she gets a judge that loves Star Wars.
Or at least the judge
makes Star Wars
actually
great
is
again.
balanced.
Yes, yeah. So he can be like, "Oh yeah, you guys want to mess with my favorite franchise?"
I think this is what happened after, like, the judge who ruled in her favor saw the recent episode of the Acolytes. Like, you know what?
That's why he came back so quickly. He was like, "You know what? I don't even have to think about this one."
They'll be like, all rise. She comes in, looks at the paper. Nah.
Your Honor.
We're done.
Objection, Your Honor.
You know what? I'm actually rooting for you. Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
But I think that might be, I don't know, that'd be funny. That'd be hilarious if it is. But I'm just so excited that this is happening right now. And then Sevvy, I love that you're weighing in on this, because it's good to know, because, you know, people who aren't not law Sevvy, we got you who is Sevvy, that can just talk to us in layman's terms, like what the timeline is and what's going to look like it, and all the information that needs to get out there in order for this to be, Lord willing, successful for her.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to boil down to the question of how far does the freedom to associate extend to a company? I think that's going to be And then the second question is, were her comments that damning? that it would give grounds for Disney to retaliate against her First Amendment protected speech, right? Because first, your freedom to speech, it is limited.
Yeah.
So most people think, oh, you can just say whatever you want as long as you're not screaming fire, right? That's not the case. It's limited depending on the venue that you're in. Is it a public or a private setting, right? And it's also limited by what you're talking about and who you're talking to, right? So, for example, in some situations, you have, you can engage in your right of free speech in a corner 3 miles away from whatever it is you're arguing about or protesting about. And in some situations you can do it right there. So it really has a big analysis that needs to be done, and I think that analysis the court is going to have to engage in that.
But they don't really have a foot to stand on. I mean, Smu's already mentioned like the Pedro Pascal stuff. I know for some reason we're afraid to say that out loud. I'm not. But then you also have the Amandla Stenberg character who may not have posted. I don't keep up with her on her social media, but we've seen the interviews and stuff like that. If you've been on Twix and stuff like that, where she is actively aggressive towards Caucasian folk. Like, so where is the difference? Where exactly is the difference? Now, we know with common sense and logic, we know that the difference is that she was not, Gina was not comparing one party to one political party to the Jewish community. We know that the idea of the principle was there. It was applicable to our time during 2020 and all of this kind of stuff, nonsense and whatever. But when you have somebody like Amanda, her name's Miss Stenberg. When you have somebody like her, saying that it's we want to make white people cry, which was, by the way, was not in association with Star Wars. Apparently, that was from a previous show that she was on. Regardless, but it's like these are things that your company is allowing your actors to say out loud. They're saying their thoughts out loud. She is an active BLM supporter, and if you want to be these things, I was talking about that with a Troubled Green today. It's like you can have your opinions and you are allowed to support whatever it is that you want to support. The difference is that you have an obligation really to not necessarily say these things out loud, because you will alienate a crowd of people, a mass amount of people, from engaging in whatever content the company that you're working for is going to display because you're there. We were talking about how the fact that it used to be you didn't know necessarily where the actors and actresses' stances were on politics and cultural society and whatnot, right? They were just fun entertainers, and it's like we had like 20, 30, 40 years, some of us who knew, like, let's just take for example I'll just take it for here. Like John Lithgow, right? I think he's a very funny, actor and whatever. I mean, he's very animated and whatever. I've been watching him for different things for years. I think he's funny. It's hilarious. My dad will not watch him because he told me one day, he's a staunch liberal. It's like, okay, I don't care because I'm not watching it for his political takes, right? And I didn't realize that I didn't come to know this until years later. So I've already built up in my mind an admiration or appreciation for this person. I think the same could almost nowadays, I don't know, be said for Mark Hamill, right? Deep down, we all kind of have this admiration for him because he was Luke Skywalker. It's not until all of a sudden they come out with these aggressive political stances where it's like, okay, you're distancing us here. And when you have these younger folk, the youngins in Hollywood coming on and aggressively being outspoken about their thoughts, it's like, girl, give us a chance to love you before we disagree and not want to see you ever again. Same thing with Rachel Ziegler or whatever like that. I'm not saying she's a bad actress. I'm not saying that she's ugly. I'm not saying any of that. It's like she might be everything and more, right? could be everything and more, but because she has already put a stamp on, if you will, what side of the schism she is and how much this, that, and the third, it's like, okay, now I don't want to see any movie that you're in, but you know what? I'll go see a movie with like Barbara Streisand or something like that. Active liberal lady. But there's already this huge credential that they have behind them where we can almost dismiss it because we've grown to love or admire them.
Yeah.
I miss the times when we didn't know much about anything about the Hollywood actors. I think social media has destroyed that illusion that we shouldn't be knowing everything about them, and that's what brought us here. I mean, just look at freaking Robert De Niro, for example. He's the best freaking example. He's full of TDS, and it's on full display. Same with Mark Hamill.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. That it's not that celebrities have never been political. It's just that social media hasn't been really big until the last couple of years. Because I mean, you go into any you see interviews from a while back, and I mean like the 90s, 80s. They were sort of never afraid to kind of tell you what they thought about politics. It's just that back then it wasn't just easy to upload it to social media. And there it goes. Now it's accessible to millions and billions of people all over the world. And now we actually get to see these people like you said with Mark Hamill. I have already loved Star Wars for so long that I just kind of ignore him, and he doesn't kind of exist in my space because he's not gonna, you know, mess something up for me that I grew up loving. I know he's crazy, but it's already too late. Mark Hamill and Luke Skywalker are two very different people to me. I don't even
see exactly. You've learned to disassociate almost like one from the other. Somebody like Miss Stenberg is now never going to have that opportunity.
Who are you? Because who are you? We've never.
Who are you?
We still haven't. And it's a shame with like Rachel Zegler as well, because she's a very talented singer, and now no one cares to hear her sing or watch her in anything because she hasn't given us a chance to just show us that she's a great actress and a great singer. She came out guns blazing, and now everyone's like, nope, thanks. Bye.
Alan Rickman, the late great Alec Rickman. I'm going to paraphrase it. I don't have it all just right. And of course, I don't have his wonderful accent. But he basically said that he wanted to keep his private life and his political stance very private and away from the screen because as an actor, he said, I don't want somebody to go into the theater, see me on stage, and associate my character with that I'm playing with who I am as a person, because perhaps they might disagree with how I believe, but I don't want that to take away from the art that I'm producing up on the screen. And I'm like, yes, snaps for Alan. Exactly. Like we want to just be in love with the characters, and because we want to, you know, we want to dismiss ourselves from the world for a little bit when it comes to our entertainment choices. And so yeah, I to it. It's like now every time like there's a show on, like if I'm watching a movie with my dad and John Lithgow comes up, the first thing is stinking liberal. Like he can't even enjoy it. Like he can't. And I'm like, like it's fine, it's okay. But it's the same thing. If we didn't really know that much about their personal takes on stuff, we probably would enjoy Hollywood a lot more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's all we.
That's words to live by, right? I mean. It brings me back to what Anthony Hopkins once said a long time ago. And he said, my philosophy is it's none of my business what people say of me and think of me. I am what I am, and I do what I do. I expect nothing and accept everything, and it makes life so much easier. And he even said something about actors a couple of years ago, that actors are pretty much stupid anyway, and they should just focus on their job. And I think that's bluntly put, but he has a point. Back in the day, we didn't really know much about actors in Hollywood, and it was kind of good that it stayed that way. And honestly, some actors should take these words and actually reconsider some of the things they are saying in public, because it would solve their image problem if they would actually keep their mouth shut every once in a while and open their mouths when it's actually appropriate, when we're talking about subjects like Gina with Gina here. And I think it's very important that people should do that more and more, instead of just like being scared to actually be publicly shunned all the time.
Or learn to plead the fifth, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
You get asked a question that you're like, I don't know about that. It's like, no comment. It's okay to say no comment.
Or just talk about your projects. What are your upcoming projects? Why am I going to go watch you in something? Tell me about that.
Right.
Yep.
Or tell me about your dog. I will listen to you about your dog all day, every day.
How's your pet doing today? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tell me
How's
more
little
about that.
Jojo doing?
Bless.
The only
Yeah,
the only thing I can say somebody sent me a reply saying that it's not a fact that this is moving to Discovery, but I don't know. Sevvy, do you know if you found anything yet that?
Yep. So I'm looking. So just looking at Pacer, it says it's the minutes of the hearing. It says a court ruling to be issued. Looking at what was discussed at the hearing, the judge said, I'm not convinced that there are no disputed facts, which basically means, there is a question of fact that has to go to a jury. And then the judge also made the statement that he didn't believe that the constitutional right of freedom of associate could be stretched as much as Disney did. So the Daily Wire is citing to the Hollywood Reporter that has these quotes from the court. I think looking at it, I don't see an order out, but I see the judge signaling that that's how he's going to rule. Because he said, I think there's a question of material fact. And because he is disagreeing with the fact that the First Amendment to associate can be used the way that Disney did. So I think that's where this is coming from. But just looking at Pacer, I don't see the court order in there. I see the minutes of the motion for the hearing, and it says, for reasons stated on the record, the court takes the matter under submission and a court ruling to be issued. And it's last updated. Well, this was last updated yesterday, so kind of have to see what was filed today, if anything was filed today, because this is not updated right now.
Do you know typically how long these types of I don't, of course, again, I'm not a lawyer or understand legalese. How long would it usually take to be able to get to the next step? Or at least if the judge is definitely saying there is definitely facts there.
It really depends on if the judge is going to write an actual order, because they can always rule for the bench, or they can always write a lengthy order and decision, or it could be just a couple pages. So it just depends on how lengthy the judge wants to make it. So it could be anywhere between it could be if they're doing it really fast, if it's something like the ruling.
Gina just posted something, by the way. Literally,
she did.
I'm on it. No, I'm on it.
She literally just posted it. Said this is not real news.
Oh,
real news.
And
yeah,
she's reposting the Daily Wire.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
No ruling has been made.
I wonder why.
Yeah, there you go. So that's why I was saying, I'm not seeing an order in here.
Also, Sevvy.
See, Daily Wire just needs to hire Sevvy. Look at that. They're doing a better job. They're doing better job than they are. Look.
Hey, Daily Wire, get your shit together. But Mr. Ticker Trunk is also asking a question here, Sevvy. Is it also a federal trial, or what?
Does that mean
it will be on TV or not?
Will it be on TV or not? That depends on what the judge orders, because the judge can allow cameras in, which I think it's likely that they'll allow it because she's a big social presence. And
so what I'm hearing is that if it does go to court and we do get to see it on TV, it sounds like there's going to be another meetup. I will bring the Swiss rolls and the popcorn. What you guys bringing?
Pretzels.
I'm bringing the Moscow mules.
Yeah. I'll bring the tequila. How about that?
That
Bless
is
you.
terrible. I can't believe they release a story like that and then
I know.
it's terrible. Although
Dang.
lately it's not really that unbelievable. So.
Surprising. Yeah.
The thing is, why? I mean, if there's nothing, I mean, clearly, because there was another website that said it was moved to Discovery. So I'm just like, what in the world? Where are these people getting this information from?
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah, I
this
start to wonder
usually,
about that too.
yeah, because I'm looking at it. The Daily Wire cited to Hollywood, but Hollywood Reporter was just talking about what the judge was saying, which was kind of like saying like, "Hey, I'm inclined to agree with Gina's team on this," and they just, I think, they read it or they didn't read it right. Because I was looking at the website and I was like, I don't see an order after you tagged me, Mags. I was like, I don't see an order here saying this.
Yeah.
Well, they just want to get us all hyped up for nothing. That's what it is.
Yep.
I know.
Well, just have to wait and see, I guess. Maybe something will come out of it, maybe not. We just have to be cautiously optimistic, maybe. And I truly hope something comes out of this and also gives people the courage to actually go out there and fight for something that's good instead of just like cowering in fear all the time, you know? And like I said, I really hope something will come out of it, but patience is a virtue, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's okay.
It's okay. It's
It's good
okay.
clickbait.
At least I mean, they could have at least been a little bit more
Truthful.
saying something along the lines of the judge probably agreed with Gina, and so we're just waiting for this. But yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. I thought there was something good there.
Mags, look what you've
false
done.
alarm, I
You're
guess.
part of the problem, Mags. You
I
realize
am
that.
apparently. Oh my
Like,
god.
article. Seriously. It's not your fault. It's the Daily Wire. I mean, they're supposed to be someone that you're supposed to trust with news, and they just wrote this without.
Well, after what they did to Candace Owen, I don't know that that's really reliable anyway.
True.
I mean, you would assume that Daily Wire has like a direct connection to Gina, especially how they went out of their way to help her back up after Disney ousted her, you know. And yeah, that's a bit disappointing. But like I said, maybe something good will come out of that, and maybe it will encourage someone to actually pursue the whole thing, and maybe give Gina the trial that she rightfully deserves in the end.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
here.
It's of course I think it's just we're all waiting for the news or whatever, and of course it's taking a lot longer for this stuff, but hopefully we'll get a statement soon. But it sounds like it's at least leaning into Gina's favor, so at least there's that in terms of what was said. But false alarm, my fault. I was just keeping an eye on things.
Do
of
better,
course,
Max.
like I usually do.
It's okay to be excited every once in a while.
Yeah, man. Someone's already asking for your cancellation in the.
I know everyone's being like, "This is false alarm."
When Max says anything, it's question everything.
Louise, good grief.
Yeah, but
nobody has done this before. God,
we don't blame you.
So you guys know the Central District for the District of California, which is where her case is in, has the options of like streaming capabilities, so you can watch stuff live. So if they do it there, I'm sure a bunch of people are gonna go to the court's website, and also I'm sure that other people are gonna be live streaming it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, if anything, if this was, we got our hopes high and everything, but we had a good discussion. Like Sevvy, like I definitely would not know the details of what you just gave us, and we could weigh in on what's to come, hopefully to come, without this false promise that it would come into fruition, that it will come true for her.
Yeah, I did find the motion opposing the motion to dismiss that Gina's team sent as well. So it was basically what I kind of mentioned that I thought was going to be the biggest problem, or the biggest question for the court to answer. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be also the question of like, is Disney at that point when an order comes out, are they going to appeal it, or are they just going to let it sit? Because they always have the option of appealing it, to the next court up, which could be a panel of 3 judges, or it could be the entire panel of all 8 judges in the Court of Appeals. So it always gets really exciting when you get to that part, because there's a standard in order to get all the 8 judges in the Court of Appeals to sit there for one case. So it's almost never happens. So if they get all the judges, that's going to be exciting.
Bring the popcorn.
Bring it.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I mean,
Honestly, we should just do watch parties of this whole thing and just, make the
Oh,
most out of it.
100%. I'm 100% down for that.
just
That
actually
would
bring
be
the
fun.
popcorn.
Yeah,
Just
for
live
real.
stream it
Yeah.
and just monetize the hell out of it. I mean,
Oh
that's all
yeah,
you can
hey,
do,
why
really.
not?
You
Might as
can
well.
you can catch it here on Dames and Dorks if you guys want to.
You gotta be first, folks. You gotta
I
be
know.
first.
I'm bringing Sour Patch Kids.
It's going to have to be like a replay of something and then us commenting on it, because it's going to happen during the workday, and I work during the day.
Well, it's time
Yeah.
to quit, Sevvy. Reevaluate your priorities. And
What is
I
that
think
to
I'll quit my
quit?
day job.
look,
and
I don't think
comment
you have a
on
real job. You're a
Warcraft.
spy or something. You're more than you put. Yeah, you're just too intelligent. I can't.
And she has this, she has a good smile on her face, and she has a good time with games, but deep down inside, she's the most intelligent one.
Out of all of us, it's a ruse, really. This gamer thing, it's a facade. All of
I
a sudden,
know.
one day, I'm gonna be with Sevvy, and somebody's gonna have a broken leg, and she'd be like, "It's okay, I know how to set it. I got experience in the
I
field
don't
in
know.
Rwanda."
I mean, I don't know.
Sevvy's very intelligent, but I'm sorry. I'm smart.
I mean-
so.
Yeah, you are.
I'm like, sorry. I'm like, I didn't
I
just
don't-
go through hell for 2.5 years to say that I'm not.
Oh no, we comment all the time, Nomi and I, about how when
Sorry.
you don't play with us, we're like,
I'm
Lily's
like,
just
Sevvy,
too
I love
busy
you. I
doing
do,
things
but
for us.
like, I'm so,
No, she
I'm like,
is.
I love you. I
You
do. I'm
guys
sorry,
are
but I just
no,
went through hell and back, and I'm like, no, I'm a
No,
little
yeah,
smart
of
too.
course. No, you are all smart. Please don't put yourselves down. So
Yeah,
lovely,
you're all
smart.
I wasn't really
Yeah.
putting myself down as much as I was just really building Sevvy up, which in turn made me feel like crap. So,
No, Tabitha.
but that's
by
okay.
the way,
I
how's
pushed her
the art?
over the bridge last night in Party Animals, so I feel okay about myself.
Okay, all right, that's good. as long as you. Oh my God, what do you mean? He said, I'm starting to believe that I put Nomi down the stairs.
It is funny. It is funny. Jay, Drunk Tapio, had like the best emojis. Like he had like the eye emojis of like, "Ooh, what's this?" in the beginning, and then the next emoji afterwards when Gina clarified was, "Huh?" Like,
Yeah.
And you see, even Jay was like, "What the?"
We've been
I know,
bamboozled.
Yeah, we did. Like, great. Thanks, Daily Wire.
Thanks, Mags. Oh,
Thank
right.
you.
Yeah, Daily Wire.
yes, cancel Mags. Hashtag cancel Mags. Make it work. Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. But I think there at least there is real legal news that came out too. What is it?
Oh,
Disney
yes.
lost something in Florida. I think I put it in there. I did grab that.
Oh
That's what I mean. I did see that from Variety, which is an actual source.
Is it?
It
The appeal.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They dropped
It
the
is.
appeal.
Oh no, I lost the tab. Give me a second, guys. I'm such a noob.
Just a quick thing. It's
shush.
a tweet. It's a tweet here. We don't have to pull up the article and really go into it because I know you guys have other things to talk about. But since we are in legal talk, I just figured to just add this too because
It's
this came out 3 hours ago. So it's something to do with the state of Florida. So
And the parental rights bill.
Yep. Disney dropped the So I can't read it for some reason. I guess hold on one second.
Disney dropped its appeal on Thursday in its First Amendment lawsuit against Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, officially ending the 2-year battle sparked by the company's opposition to the so-called parental rights bill.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
for
said it
saying
right.
it correctly, Smu.
I don't care. That's what the name is. It's not that name that's being shown there. So
Yeah.
Get it right, Variety. Jeez.
Yeah, see, can't trust anything.
Yep. Nope. So at least that's what I mean by like trying to find the sources like Variety or Hollywood Reporter or Forbes or whatever, because at least if you see it across the board, that means you know that it's real. So
and then it's not the Daily Wire just trying to clickbait us and all.
I know, I got fooled. Hey, look, Matt, you can throw eggs on me. I don't care.
No, we're throwing eggs on the Daily Wire.
Yeah, I mean, we don't blame you because even Jay tweeted about it, and I just looked at Jay's tweets, and he's like, "I'm erasing my other tweet. I don't want to like spread misinformation."
Yeah, exactly.
I just deleted mine too because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna.
I deleted both of my tweets. I was like, yeah, this is not right.
I corrected my tweet. I was like, "We've been clickbaited, y'all.
Yeah.
We've been duped. We've been duped.
We've been had."
We got too excited. But yeah, now we have to. The ironic,
excited.
Yeah, the irony in it, like Variety, we have to rely on them for actual real news. When even though they're like weird sometimes on their reports, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. Oh my gosh! But no, what also is kind of okay is that we're now seeing everything about the House of the Dragon that's going to be starting this Sunday.
I can't wait.
I know. And then I'm already we're seeing I clicked on the wrong thing, but we're seeing the amazing marketing that's happening for House of the Dragon here. This is in Spain.
Yeah. So just to kind of like explain it. So they have this little campaign running right now. This is their marketing. This is all AI. It's not actually real. It fooled a couple of people because they put it up in New York as well.
Yeah,
There's the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. And a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they actually dropped real banners." But it's not. It's still cool.
Really, yeah.
So every single country is kind of declaring if they're for Rhaenyra or Aegon. And then a couple of countries are a little bit split. Like France has some people that are green, black. So
France is always divided.
I just think this is like brilliant marketing, because what gets you more excited than to see, especially people around the world, they're getting everyone involved. It's not just people in the United States. It's not just people in the UK. Everybody. So everybody's just kind of waiting to see, okay, what's my country going to do? And thankfully, Mexico also declared for Queen Rhaenyra. So,
oh my gosh, yes.
And like, yeah, it's just brilliant marketing. They're taking a lot of well-known places and putting up the banners on there. I was very disappointed that
it's clever marketing.
Yeah, I was disappointed that the Eiffel Tower was actually green. So,
well,
to be fair, Lily, the French are a bit iffy, you know.
Yeah, I know. But I think they did have another. They had I forget. I think it was Marseille that actually had the banners for Rhaenyra, so they're like split. So that's super cool. And if you go on all of the Max accounts on Twitter, you can actually see that they're updating with all of this stuff. And then, I mean, it gets the conversation going. If you look at their comments, you have a lot of people that are upset that are like, no, we should have been the black team. And no, we're team green. Like, everyone's fighting. Everyone's talking about it. So I hope that whoever came up with this marketing is getting a raise. Because
you heard it here. Lily condones violence.
I don't
Lily
think
chose violence.
Just
nice. I love it. They should make this as like a Snapchat, if that's still a thing, Instagram filter, whatever like that. So it's almost like you could take a selfie and choose which banner you would want in front of whichever, you know.
Tabitha. Guess what? I'm about to kind of blow your mind a little bit. They have another campaign where I think it's raiseYourBanners.com. And if you go on there, you can take a selfie of yourself and it'll actually superimpose you on top of somebody. So if you want to be like a dragon rider wearing the colors of Rhaenyra, you can totally do that. So
Hell yeah. Bring it.
So this is like super
go all out. Jeez, I mean, it's kind of like the guys that wore the the ape costumes in California, in San Francisco, and riding on the horses before, you know, the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes came out.
And I'm kind of liking that everyone's getting creative with their marketing as well. Like the Planet of the Apes, that was cool. For the Fall Guy, they had a bunch of, they had the actual stuntmen doing stunts on the red carpet. And then for Godzilla X Kong in London, I believe they actually put like Godzilla in the water and they put Kong like on the sidewalk coming out.
Terrifying would that be?
So that is so cool. And this one's pretty cool because I don't think they spent that much money on it. They don't have to actually have people out there doing stuff. It's just this simple. And I think one of the other ones that I thought was really clever was when the movie Smile came out. They had people at a baseball game and they would zoom in on them and they just had this like really creepy smile on their face, and that's how they marketed that movie. So that's cool. That gets me excited to go watch something, and it kind of tells you that they're happy about the product that they actually made.
Lily's out here killing me as an artist, being like, it's so simple. I mean, it doesn't cost that much. Like every artist is just dying inside, having spent 15 hours on one flag to make it look legitimate enough to fool the masses.
I mean, I'm sure it's not easy. I'm not an artist.
You're right, though.
I have no idea what goes into.
You're right, though. It is significant cheaper to hire an artist to do this than to actually have somebody risk, like hoist it up on a building and everything like that. You're right.
Hoist the flag, matey. Yar.
Yeah.
Yar.
But yes, I don't know if you guys have already made arrangements, but I made arrangements at the bar that I work at that I said that I can't work for the next month.
She was like, I'll be sick. I got the black tongue.
I'm more like, so no, I was straightforward with it. It's like,
oh, okay.
So House of the Dragon premieres this Sunday. Can I not be scheduled for Sunday for a while? They're like, all right. So yeah, so that's how how excited I am for House of the Dragons.
Yes. And then even more exciting with the runtimes that they came out with. Like, how crazy is that?
Yep.
And then in comparison to the Acolyte, where I think their runtimes are about 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. And we get all that garbage in comparison to these runtimes. Like, that's crazy. So I'm excited.
I mean, to be fair, when you take out the recaps and the credits and everything, the Acolyte episodes are not exactly long either. So,
but it's actually impressive how much they can ruin Star Wars in 30 minutes an episode. Like, that's actually really impressive how much garbage they can fit into one episode.
That's why I didn't even bother. I
thought they would never
saw people reviewing it. It's like, I'm not bothering it.
If you're not reviewing it, it's not worth it.
Yeah. I suffered through Kenobi, and even I thought they wouldn't be able to top that.
Same.
That's how terrible it was.
Same. I honestly thought that. I was like, how much worse could it get? And then the Acolyte happened.
I mean, for me, even though, there is the track record and whatnot, and I didn't have high hopes, I've said this before the show was coming out, was that I always like to try to watch it for, something for myself to determine. And because I'm one of those wonky people that can find something that they really enjoy when the masses don't. It just makes us all different, different viewpoint. But there are elements about it that are intriguing, but it's like I agree with the majority of people. It's like the story is not coherent. Okay, let's just kind of ignore the fact that it's not following the canon. Like it's the lore. There's something off. Even without that, and just kind of watching it, honestly, like I'm kind of watching it as if it were its own little sci-fi franchise, right? Like it's just out in its own little galaxy. It's like, okay, some of this is kind of interesting, but it's not well executed, like, okay, so there's, this coven group out here doing their own little thing. And it's like, okay, that's fine and dandy. But then there's just these elements here where it's like, I don't understand. And then when you remember that it's supposed to tie into Star Wars, that it is Star Wars, you're like, okay, well, this doesn't work. Stone doesn't get set on fire. Like, you can't set rocks on fire. It just doesn't work like that.
Who is on their set that doesn't know how fire works? They have fire in space. They have stones that are being set on fire. Like, now,
I mean, I will say that, even in the George Lucas era, that they had explosions in outer space that did produce fire. And I can give that a pass because otherwise explosions in space are just weird and anticlimactic. I think the problem for me, and like a lot of us probably would be, is like that the fire continued. Like it was literally a flame versus a burst of an explosion that dies off. Like you could have roasted marshmallows around that thing.
Yeah, Robert Meyer Burnett actually made a comment about that because he said the problem isn't with the fire. The problem is that they're not making us believe that can actually happen. Like you said, like it happened in George Lucas's, but he makes you believe it. Like when Boba Fett is dropping the seismic charges, you can't hear that in space. There's no sound in space, but he makes you believe it because you're into the story because he's telling you a good story. Whereas in the Acolyte, it's already such a bad story that anything that they throw at you that you can like catch onto, you're gonna be like, how is this possible?
And I think that was the thing for me too. And it was like, yes, this again, the story needs to be better written. But it was like, again, even with me trying to look at it with good intentions, because sometimes I like to be respectively optimistic that maybe there could be something about it that's cool. It's those little things, like you're saying, those little things that are unrealistic, that are not believable, that throw me off. And I watched it. I'm like, that flame is just like on the ship is like the flames. Why are there flames? Like I couldn't get past that. It has nothing to do with the story. Has absolutely nothing to do with the story, but it distracts you because it's like, this doesn't make sense. Yeah, it doesn't trick your brain or your imagination and being like, oh, well, that's okay. Same thing with like when they captured the prisoners and they're like, they captured the people, the prisoners, whatever like that. And the Jedi are like, this, that, and the third. And it's not till Soul comes in and like, oh, we don't have any answers from them. Well, we'll just wait around for Soul to come over and do a mind trick. It's like, you mean, how long you been sitting there waiting for answers when you could have just went, and they're like, oh, this is the problem. Like, I don't like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't even have anything to do with the story. It's like, it doesn't make sense. And so, then when it was with the stone being on fire, it's like, again, this doesn't make sense. Now, I did read where some people were saying that, the rocks weren't on fire. How does it work? That there's more to the fire and the explosion than we think because of different aspects of it. One being that where the women all died, because if it wasn't a kind of an explosion, they don't all just kind of pile on top of each other and die in one area. So they believe that there is more to the story that has yet to be revealed. Because if the little girl did set fire to the place, which was so stupid, like you're mad at your sister, so let me just set this place on fire. But anyway, they're saying that she didn't really set it on fire. That there's more to it because it doesn't make sense. It's like, number one, it doesn't make sense. And then secondly, it's like she's literally mad at her sister and doesn't even care that the whole place is falling apart or that her moms are dead.
She clearly got a priority straight. I mean,
so that's where I'm saying it's like some of this could have been worked out because I love the idea of like the Night Sister. I've been saying for years. I was like, I would love to see something with the Night Sisters, but this is not handled properly. There's something wrong.
Yes. Before we continue our conversation, our lovely friend here, Sevvy, needs to mosey out because she has a prior engagement. But I want to thank Sevvy for hanging out and giving us all this information that you just gave us about. Yeah, you definitely made me feel smarter, and then also like calling it out before what was revealed about the Daily Wire. But where can we find you, Sevvy, from your socials?
You can find me in Twitter, Sevvy, LUVV Love, and that's my handle in YouTube and Kick and Twitch. So give me a follow on those. Yep. And Moonskull. Don't forget Moonskull, where I'm usually with Nomi and Geeks and Gamers Tabletop. I will be playing shortly Call of Duty with Jeremy Beardo, Epic Mike, and then I don't know who else might be joining. So that should be really fun. So I need to go and get everything ready for that. That won't happen for another half an hour-ish, but You need to get prepared and figure shit out.
Hey,
That's what we're
tell
gonna
Mike
do.
to make sure that his mic isn't muted this time when he's talking. Best rant ever in my life.
I will let him know. But thank you, Nomi, for having me like always. Much love to everybody, and I will head out. Bye, guys.
Okay,
Bye,
bye, Sevvy. Have a good
Bye, Sevvy.
night. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
And then with that, our other lovely dear friend Mags needs to go as well. She needs to get out of here and, probably like do her research. Just kidding.
Repent of her ways.
Just kidding.
I know. I need to go in the, what is it? Be in the corner with a dunce hat or something.
Reevaluate.
Reevaluate.
You know what? But it made
Don't
you
say yourself
come on.
short, Max.
It made you come on here because we missed you. So.
We do miss you.
Yeah, we do miss you.
I know it took Daily Wire to make me come back because I sent a message this morning, guys. I am going to be taking a sabbatical. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things going on in my IRL life personally. So I need to take some time off and reevaluate a couple of things because I'll be making a really big, huge life decision tomorrow.
Like unsubscribing from Daily Wire?
Well, no, I canceled them a while ago because I didn't think their content was that great. But anyway, but no, it's a really big life decision for me. So I'm in a different stage of my life where it's just going to be very interesting the next couple of months. So
she's deciding if she's team black or team green.
Yes.
Well, I probably might be having a hell of a lot more time. Excuse me, Nomi.
No, it's okay.
Finishing up on House of the Dragon, so there might be some things going on with that. But anyway, I will.
Watch party's coming.
I will come on if there is actual breaking news and Daily Wire, especially if I find it. But I have to step away and focus on other things that are happening in my life. So,
absolutely.
anyway, I will see everybody around. Of course, everybody, make sure you're subscribing to all of these wonderful people here, and of course, Sevvy, who just left, and make sure you're following all of us on all the spheres: Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, Kick, whatever you are, wherever you may be. And love to all.
Thank you, Max.
Yes. Thank you, Max. We love you. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Mwah. Bye, guys.
Bye. Yes. Oh my gosh. Such a great panel for a little short time, but it was good information, good discussions, and yeah.
Damn, though we got me roasting us. She's like, now I'm left with you people.
I know.
I mean,
really, I don't think she appreciates
your
intelligence the way that I do. I'm just saying.
Okay, first of all, you're very informative. Like, we weighed in on the Alakalai, like how you want to see the sisters coming into life, and you're like telling us like what is good, like what you would like to see. Like, what I agree with you. I think if you think it's good, then I will take your word for it.
What does that have to do with Lily being smart?
Well, she's smart too. She graduated
college. I was bringing attention to that. And then you were like, well, you were sharing your opinions too. And I'm like, I feel like this is a Rebel One, Rogue One discussion suddenly.
Oh my gosh. We actually had a meme.
They're the same picture.
Oh, I think I can find that meme. Give me a minute.
I love it.
Is that the new Coke meme?
So I am not smart in like law though. That's all Sevvy.
Yes.
I don't know anything about except for what I learned on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia about bird law.
Yes.
That's as
their niche.
That's as much lawyerings as I know.
That's all you need.
I know innocent till proven guilty.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah, and you have to like really dumb it down for me because I don't understand any of that stuff at all whatsoever.
Basically, law is banking on fallacies. So, but
yeah,
this is a
there
really
it is.
Meme.
That's my favorite.
I love that.
My favorite. I laughed so hard when I saw that because I'm like, what am I looking at? And then I saw the Pam picture, and I'm like, this is great. They're the same.
So this is from one of our friends, Shadu. Hey, Shadow.
Shadow.
So if you guys didn't watch it was the show where you were on, right, Tabitha?
2 weeks ago.
Yes. So we were going around asking, what everybody's favorite Star Wars movies was, and
And Nomi's like, it was Rebel 1.
Here's some money. Go see a Star Wars.
Yeah, there's only one word.
Because there's a show called Arrested Development, and there's an out of touch, like rich bougie woman who has like someone cleaning the house, and she's like, "Here's the money. Go see a Star Wars."
Wow. I love how the meme persists from that show to this day. I love it.
Gosh.
That show is underrated.
It is. It is highly underrated.
Shall we continue roasting the acolyte for a bit?
Yes,
Please,
because
please.
you over here with your banger tweets. So yes, like
Yeah,
we need to
don't
talk
forget,
about
guys.
this.
Don't forget, guys. Lily's famous now. She's famous now.
It's true, but she's not famous enough to get quote treated.
No, I'm not.
Not yet.
Only
not yet.
screenshots.
Screenshots, yeah.
I'm ranked James, bitch.
Were we gonna show the Rotten Tomato score?
Oh yeah, I had
Dude,
it
I just
here.
saw how much it dropped.
Damn. Damn.
They ain't doing good.
The audience has spoken, folks. The audience has spoken.
Yep, the audience has spoken. And you know what's really kind of like really sus about the critic score is that it has not moved. It's only gone from 84 to 85 in the last 2 days. Yes, almost like they did the same thing with Captain Marvel and the sequel trilogy. So
I mean, they can't let this flop from the critics, so they have to do some shenanigans. I mean,
Can you click on it? Can you click on it, Nomi, and then see what the top critic score is now? Because the last time I saw it, it was at 72%.
I swear, if I see Grace Randolph on there, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, 72%. But audience score 18. I don't know how they're. So this is the lowest rated Star Wars live action Star Wars, and this actually has a lower score than the holiday special that everyone seems to equally hate. The holiday special, I think, is at 20%, if I'm not mistaken, 19 or 20.
20.
So this is not looking good for
That's brutal. Honestly, that's brutal.
You know, I've heard some of our fellow streamers saying that they don't think that George Lucas cares anymore. I wholeheartedly disagree. As a creative person myself, you can't create something that's out of your heart and your soul and see how and something that's so life-changing for some people, but not only that, is literally known around the entire world, and see it come to this and not be bothered. You can try to drown your sorrows and say that, you know, it doesn't matter or whatever, but I'm like, that would be like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that he doesn't care at all. Because no, this is his baby. This is his pride and joy. This is something, there are very, very few people in the entire history of the world that make a worldwide impact. Like, there are people in the world who don't know what Star Wars is, but they have heard of Star Wars. Like, you know, so I'm just saying, like, that you can't tell me it doesn't. I don't know if he likes it or not. It is very possible. Maybe he kind of gets a kick out of it, but you can't tell me he doesn't care at all. I cannot believe that. Like I said, as a creative person, if I gave my heart and soul to something and I see somebody changes the direction that I created, me and my team created, there ain't no way that I would stop caring ever.
You know what? I am pretty sure that he showed that he still cares from winning the award at Cannes, and they asked him a bunch of questions about it. We covered those topics when Tabitha was here too. That was them asking him about it, and he's still clearing things up. He gets very defensive when they accuse him that he doesn't have enough people of color in his movies and that he doesn't have enough female leads. He's still defending all that stuff. And then when you actually watch the interviews live, you can tell that he's not just, he gets defensive. He answers them like very defensively, like, no, this is how I created it and this is what I had in mind. And you people don't understand. You guys are the ones with the problem. This was my creation. This is how I had it. So I don't think that's true either. I agree.
Yeah.
He has to care about it. That's his baby.
Because you could say that maybe he gives off vibes like he doesn't care. What I believe then is that his care, his sadness then may translate to apathy. You have to cultivate apathy because all humans care about something, especially if it's something that they have made. So for a human to make something of this magnitude and then not care, it has to be formulated apathy because it's so heartbreaking. Because it's the same thing with like a loved one, a divorcee, or something like that. It's a person or a thing or whatever that you love at one point that you loved, and then something happened. It's damaged. It's not what it used to be. And what do? You create apathy for it because it's like I can't let myself care about this because this hurts too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is too. And I mean, he sold the company already. Like somebody said in the chat, what can he do at this point?
Exactly. And I believe that he will forever regret selling because he could have made billions dollars more.
Yep.
Because people are like, oh, he sold out for the money. Please. If George would have kept the company, he would be reaping even more untold fortune. Like the same way with J.K. Rowling, and they're making new shows. They're creating a brand new theme park. Please. That woman will be rolling in cash for the 13th generation. And so to me, I don't believe at all that it was about the money. I think that he sold it to Disney. This is my personal opinion. I don't have all the facts. I don't got the data, but this is my personal belief is that he sold it to Disney at a time where Disney still had some good story, still had magic. And he believed it was time to pass it on to people who had the reputation of creating magic. And he thought that Disney was going to take Star Wars to the next generation with a Disney magic twist. That's what I personally believe. There ain't no way he just said, you know what, I'm just going to sell it to Disney and be like, piss off.
Yeah. Well put.
I think too. Why would he have bothered to write scripts for a sequel trilogy if he honestly didn't care about it? Yeah. And he's talked about this. He left them with basically scripts done already of his ideas, how he wanted his story continued. So someone who doesn't care just completely washes their hands of something like, it's not my problem anymore. I'm just going to wait for the paychecks to come in. Why would he go through all of that? All of that just to not care.
So I think he wanted it to be carried beyond himself. Yeah, he was old. He's old now, but he was older back then. He was like, he probably thought, I have the ideas, but I think I've taken it as far as I can. I have the general idea. I've got the lore. I've got the movies. I've got everything. I'm going to pass it on to the most notorious creator of magic and childhood fantasy.
Yeah.
And then that's, shortly thereafter is when all of a sudden we started getting these crap movies from Disney. And it's like, oh, what's happening? what's happening?
Yes.
No.
And then we have the night that the Acolyte episode 3 dropped, I actually tuned into Theory's channel to watch his reaction.
I saw the picture.
That poor man, honestly. That's the face of a man who hates to be here, honestly.
Yeah, this is something
Shout
that
out.
he said, though, because this was a controversial thing that everyone was talking about. This was one of my tweets that went crazy, and here he is kind of clearing up why this is a ridiculous thing about how these twins came to be in this episode.
There's no father, much like Shmi told Qui-Gon. So these girls were created by the witches by plucking on threads of the Force. It's amazing. They were able to accomplish what the Sith, the Empire, Palpatine, Plagueis, Kaminoans, the witches of Dathomir, my mother Talzin, the Jedi, and anybody else in the galaxy who ever tried to create Force-sensitive kids could do. And yet these random witches out of nowhere are now able to create not just one, but two equally powerful Force-sensitive children. I mean, gosh.
Make it make sense.
Dooku hired them to create the clone army. A clone army of Force-sensitive kids. All with perfect abilities and efficacy. All they had to do was just pluck some threads. I mean, God, stupid Dooku. Stupid Palpatine. Just Plagueis. Idiots.
Stupid man.
Jedi ask, where is the father?
Yeah.
Stupid men.
The only thing, like, I agree with some people on Twitter where just because the Jedi couldn't do it doesn't mean that they couldn't also. Because because all fiction draws upon reality in some form or frame, right? So you think of like ancient Chinese medicine as compared to westernized medicine. Lily, this is your wheelhouse. Here we go. Is that there are old methods that work better than the new. So I can almost get on board with the idea of like there could be a group out there that could have figured out something. But the fact that, yeah, number one, there's two. Like, what are the odds? It should have been like one could and the other was deformed and didn't work out. You know, it was a lucky chance. But then the other thing is that yeah, it's too easy. Right? It's too easy. Like he says, there's so many groups of people studying this. If there would have been, what would have made it really good and interesting, I think, is if one of the kids, or if there was just one kid, one of the girls, like something was wrong with them. It's almost like that they could sense the force. I don't know, something they couldn't use it, or bad things happened. Like it was a force defect or something. That at least would be somewhat intriguing because it's like, that's wrong. It's not supposed to be like that because this is too easy. It's like, you know, we called upon the powers that be up in the sky. We pulled the thread and we have two babies that are powerful and force, you know, sensitive and capable without really, it seems like well, they had some training, but still it's just kind of wonky. So it's like everything is just, yeah, it's just, it's too easy. If something would be wrong, then it would make sense that they basically had a bastardized version of whatever the Force would will in Shmi, right? That to me would have been more right, exactly. That would have been more believable, I think. It's like, but one other problem I have though is like, among many, but it's like, so why were they so adamant about taking these children? I mean, Lily, you could maybe help me out with this here because it's like the Jedi law, if you will, is that you're not supposed to take older children because they're already a little bit out of sorts with their emotions and whatnot. They're too dangerous. Why were the Jedi so adamant about training and taking these kids and seeing if they were they could sense them? Why did they have to test them?
That's what I heard a lot of arguing about as well, because there's been other instances where do we all even realize how big the Star Wars galaxy is? Do you think that they are actually taking every single child that's force sensitive? I don't think so. That's impossible. And then this coven of witches is already, it seems like it's been established or whatever. And they're all force users. How come none of them have ever been taken? And like, so are they also taking children?
Makes no sense.
Obviously, there's no men. So how are there so many of them? Are they stealing little girls? Like what?
Now see, but that would have made an interesting story.
Yeah, I don't understand what's happening. So I think the Jedi, yeah, if they sense all these kids and they're able to catch them on time, they probably go and do what they have to do with the younger. They have to, so they don't have to form their attachments. Basically, that's what it is.
Right.
And these little girls, why would they be so adamant to take them away from something that's already established? That's just causing problems.
Beats me.
Yeah.
So why are the Jedi
literally tearing a family apart?
Yeah, they are. They've already established their bonds with their parents. Why would you do that? Like, it's just making the Jedi look like bad people. And then to come to the point earlier that you said about how are the witches all magically just all dead? It's probably the Jedi. The Jedi probably did it. They want to take the little girls. So of course they had to get rid of everyone to do that.
That is the only explanation for that one Amish Jedi killing himself, is the guilt for something.
White
so it
guilt.
had to
White
have
guilt.
I don't know about so much that, but it's like
No,
they
seriously.
obviously, the Jedi had to have done something. Obviously, they allude to that. It's like, because what person's going to kill himself? Usually it's out of guilt for something. So it's like,
guilt by association.
But it's just like I don't know. And then I have a lot of problems. Like I said, I feel like there could have been something here. Mine's the whole twin thing. That's like so easy. It's such a rehashing of Luke and Leia in a weird way. Like it's just like there could have been something here, but there's not. There's not.
And do they realize that they messed up their own story as well?
Oh,
Because
do tell.
wasn't the point of the Mandalorian that Moff Gideon is seeking Baby Yoda, Grogu, because he wants to make Force-sensitive children? And now their own people have just made a show where these witches, like Star Wars Theory said, these random witches that obviously we haven't seen in their timeline, in the Mandalorian's timeline. Where did they go? Like, I mean, they all died, right?
Nobody could find them. Yeah.
Nobody could find them. So I guess that's how they got around that like, no, guys, they don't exist nowadays because they all died. Only May was the only one that survived. But like, if someone had found this power and that much time has already passed, don't you think someone else would have already figured it out too?
I mean, I'll be honest. You expect a lot from the Disney Star Wars story team. They don't even communicate
expect a lot, to be honest.
with each
To this
other.
day, I still expect a lot because it's just common sense.
It should be, but they don't even communicate with each other. You have all these inconsistencies in every single story that comes out now. I mean, just look at Andor, for example. Like in comparison to what we had like before that with Kenobi. You have Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is supposed to be a very smart man, going to a laser barrier and actually shooting it instead of walking around it.
Yeah.
Or like blurting out Leia's name when they were surrounded by stormtroopers. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah.
But the bad thing about this is that Filoni had to have signed off on all of this stuff that Leslie Headland is doing. So he knew about all of this stuff, and he's just like, yeah, sure, whatever, just do it. Let it happen.
I honestly think that Leslie Headland just snuck some fake notes to Filoni just to greenlight that stuff, and then just did something completely different at this point, because there's no way this would have been greenlit like this. No way.
As positive as I try to be going into anything that's produced, and like I try to look for the silver lining, even though it's like, okay, there's no reason to hope. It's like there's always maybe something. I like the music. I do. I like the music for the Acolyte. But I remember when like Mandalorian and everything like this came out, and they were starting to do stuff and whatever. And my brother was a big fan of Filoni. He was like, oh, he was George Lucas's apprentice. He's the best qualified person to do this. I'm like, something's wrong. So I was like, that's what it was. I told him, I was like, it's never gonna be. This was even before Star Wars. Well, not before. It was after the sequels and everything like that. Mandalorian came out. Mandalorian was the first and second season were great. I really enjoyed them. And like all of a sudden, like this new rise of hope was coming out, and he was trying to. And I love my brother, a very intelligent man, and bigger Star Wars person than I am. He knows way more than I do, but it was just kind of like, okay, he's never going to be George Lucas. And he's like, no, but he was his understudy. He knows him so well. And it's like, yeah, but no matter, I was like, it's the same thing with artwork. I could create a painting and then find another qualified, talented painter, and they could try to paint my painting and study me and everything. It is never going to be the exact same painting. It's never going to be the same. There's going to be something off about it, no matter how hard you try, because we're all different and we have different ideas of how things should and should not go. And I'm not sure what has happened to Filoni. Money, I'm going to assume greed. But usually it's power and money.
Money.
But
and that's where I got the most upset, is when they put up that thing that now there's twins. There's two of them. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure by now everybody knows Vader, Anakin, is my favorite Star Wars character. It was bad enough that they messed up his redemption because somehow Palpatine returned. But now they're messing up something else that made him actually special, something that made him a mystery.
What do they have against Anakin?
I have no idea. So when I saw this,
he's a white guy.
I'm like that meme. So I took it personally, and I did. And that's why I made my tweet, because they messed up my favorite freaking character. And
Vader's my favorite. And it's like, what?
Apparently a whole bunch of people agreed with me because this tweet freaking exploded. Like,
just like the way he exploded the Death Star.
Yeah, just like he exploded.
Totally.
The one that blew it up. So yeah, I don't know, Nomi, if you can like pull up the. I don't even know where it's at anymore. I had to mute it because I was getting equal parts people agreeing with me and equal parts people being like, you suck and blah, 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 blah. You don't know anything about Star Wars. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I even had people that were in there just to tell me that I don't even like Star Wars, but you're a horrible person. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, thanks. That's just as
More
good as
power
those
to you.
people on Amazon who leave reviews and they're like, haven't tried it yet. It's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I said not only did they ruin Anakin's redemption, but they also ruined his birth. He's no longer special because he wasn't the first to be conceived through the Force. F Disney Star Wars. I had to say it. I usually don't cuss, but I was very emotional that night when I said F Disney Star Wars for destroying my favorite character. And then everybody went crazy.
I see that. I see that.
Yeah.
3 million views. Girl, get it.
Well, dang, like over 1,100 replies.
3.3 million views. Dang,
Yeah.
Lily. Dang.
I think I'm getting more views than the Acolyte.
Honestly, at this point, yes. Yes, it is.
You're not wrong.
Lily's hate milkshake brings all the boys to the
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and then
right.
the one that I put up for the review of it that wasn't even like anything thought provoking or anything went crazy too. That one.
3 million views. That's
All
great.
I said was, "Wow, 8 minutes into the Acolyte episode 3, and I'm already done. I don't even think this is the controversial part. This isn't Star Wars anymore. I hate it here." And it was the part where she's explaining the whole thread thing, where she says, "Oh yeah, this isn't like a power to wield or whatever," and then she uses it as a power, and then she describes it as like a thread of your destiny, and then she says, "Oh, but you can manipulate it and choose your own destiny." Like what? I was like, that's not what Yoda said. So
You can be anything you want to be. You can be anything you want to be. Disney Star Wars.
What you just said, Lily, just reminds me of stupid playground make believe when you're playing with your friends on the playground and you just make up the rules as you go, so it goes your way and not the other way when it needs to be that way.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it is. They're just kind of making it up as they go along. They don't even know anything. We covered that article with George. He said the only one that understands how the Force works is me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Look at what they're doing in this TV show. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I was really mad that
It's
night.
air magic. It's like air magic. I mean, just that dance number they
And then
singing.
There's
that makes me
stupid.
cringe.
That doesn't even make sense. So
No.
she's battling 1 versus 1 and she defeats her. And then she says the power of 2. And then it's 2 ladies and she defeats both of them at the same time. So it's like, what's the point of that though? Like, isn't she supposed to be saying that 2 is more powerful than 1 and having many is more powerful than 2 or 1? Like, it makes no sense to me. So she's
not even sure what exactly that initiation.
What does that even mean?
Like, what?
Nobody knows.
What was
Nobody
that
knows.
for? Like, was it just a ritual, like a ceremony, like almost like a bar mitzvah, if you will, or was there some kind of, were they implanting something in the gals? Like, what exactly was that ritual for?
Like some cultist stuff, honestly.
If you notice, she like does that weird thing towards May's forehead. And there's like this purple energy that comes out into her forehead, and then she has that tattoo that's on her face.
Oh, I missed that part. Okay.
So something's happening. I guess that's their way of, okay, you're officially in the coven or whatever.
Like it's like their branding.
Yeah, it's weird.
So you're kind of like
you're in our
initiate.
gang now. Yeah.
You can sit with us. You can speak on Wednesdays. It was basically an initiation, which seems real. I mean, I guess every culture kind of has something similar to that. That's why it's like, okay, I can kind of get on board with this tribal aspect of the Force. Because like I said, in our real world, we have things where it's like you have modern versus old school, you know. But again, like we're going back to what Lily said with like the fire and the explosion, you gotta make it believable and you have to make it make sense. Having 2 little girls where one has a temper tantrum and sets the house on fire and kills her family because she's mad at her sister is a psychopath.
Yeah.
And she's right at the same time too.
You know, the other thing is like going back to like the Jedi, I would think that it would be almost like not impossible, but you know how, so the Jedi don't take children that are too old. I would think it would almost be absolutely a no to take twins, especially when they're older, because of that bond that twins share that is so different from regular siblings or whatever you want to call them, because it's such a tight bond. So I would think it would be even more of a big no where it's like, we're not even taking these ones because number one, they're too old, and secondly, they're twins. We can't do this.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what the heck was going on with all of this. It was just one disaster after another. And I don't know if you guys watch Echo Base Network, but actually Coach put up a video that I didn't notice this. It kind of clicked into my head when I was watching it, but then when he actually pointed it out, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't connect that. So he actually made a video that this is really tied to the occult. And I don't know if you noticed at the beginning where the little girls have their little thing, their exchange to each other, where they're saying something like the air is above and the sea is below or whatever.
And that is the worst nursery rhyme in history. I am you and you and me. Like, what are we?
Yeah.
Three?
So then he's like, yeah, that's a big occult thing, because as above, so below. That's a very occultish type of thing. And he started making like a tie to like Baphomet and the two children with the statue and all that stuff. Then I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, are you freaking serious, Star Wars? Like, it's just, speculation, but
it's a little heavy. Yeah,
it's a little heavy. Yeah, it's a little heavily implied with all of that. So I watched it and I was like, you know what? I wouldn't even put it past them anymore because of all the other garbage they've already inserted in all of these children's stuff. And I don't think that this one's actually,
it wouldn't shock me at this point.
Children. Yeah, but I mean, like Tabitha said, that's psychotic. That she's like, how are you going to stop me? I'm going to kill you. Like, how do you say that to your sister? What the heck?
That was just like so over the top. I'm like, okay, ain't no way they're taking that one for sure. The other
clearly a healthy household.
Yeah, like it just, I mean, I don't even. This one guy's thing threw me off. I had a point, and I was like, I can't remember what it was anymore. Something about the coal. I am with you. I don't know. It just, there could have been something if they would just change certain elements, like and just write it better and write better rhymes. Okay, like write better chants. Okay, make it in a foreign language or whatever, but power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Okay, look,
that was so crazy. I'm sorry.
Look, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, that was what I was gonna say. Is like, okay, in episode 1, how many Jedi did it take to go and try to negotiate with the leader of the Trade Federation? 1. How many Jedi did it take to go talk to 16 women about if they did or did not have children in the Coven?
2.
4 Jedi, 4 or 5 Jedi to go talk to a group of women to see if they had kids that they were training in the ways of the threaded force there. But it's like freaking to Qui-Gon and his Padawan, not even a knight, his Padawan still, to go talk to the Trade Federation. Like, I'm like, these guys have no chill. And I feel like I want to make a shirt that says Qui-Gon deserves justice with all of this.
He deserves way better than this.
Justice. Have you seen that guy on Instagram who does the voiceovers or does the voice work and and he's got Qui-Gon Jinn there in the afterlife with potato chips? Like, what's happening? Wait a minute. How is it that she's still alive? And Obi-Wan's like, well, they invented Bacta tanks. Well, when the freak did they invent those? He's like, about 15 minutes after you died. He's like, oh,
where were my 2 stomachs? Damn it.
It's so true.
I love watching that guy because he has Qui-Gon and Anakin as Force Ghosts, right? And then he has Obi-Wan like just sitting there with both of them on each side.
Oh man, he called out Kenobi too when they were like, oh well, this scene's gonna end quickly when they're chasing the little girl through the forest, and then he just keeps going, and Qui-Gon's like, what the freak, man? Like, how incompetent are these mercenaries that a 10-year-old little girl could just jump over a branch, and they're like, no, she's getting away.
I love the edit that somebody made with the Rats music when Leia starts running. I love that so much. I laughed my ass off. I was like, yes, this is perfect. Yes. I mean, even Kenobi couldn't even catch her. You walked like a drunken buffoon. Like, seriously, that was insane.
Qui-Gon
You have to really watch it to believe it.
Man, it's just everything about this episode was just so. Even when Squid Game guy, Master Soul, right? I'm not even trying to learn their names. It's so annoying.
It's Soul, really. Soul.
When the little girls fall off the bridge thing, did he forget that he had the Force?
Well, I know.
You conveniently forgot.
Yeah, I was like, how did you forget? And I'm pretty sure that if he's already master level, it would be no issue for him to hold 2. If Yoda could lift up an entire
Well, the other thing is too, it's like, so he couldn't anticipate what was about to happen.
Yeah.
Like the whole area is on fire. It's crumbling apart. Apparently they're above lava. And he's like just standing there like, I know Hollywood has to do dramatic emphasis to really hype up a situation, but I'm like, they're like 8 feet apart. Like, just grab her. Like, just grab her.
Not that freaking hard.
Just grab her.
And then he struggled to lift her up. And I'm like, do you know that you're like a fully grown man and she's an 8-year-old?
Do you even flex, bro? Do you even lift? Like,
no, he clearly misses the gym.
I'm like, dude, really? Oh my gosh. It's just everything is just really bad about that show.
You know that's
except for the music. I like the music.
Who's doing the music?
I have no idea. I try not to delve too deeply in the dark.
Because I know it's not. It's probably not. What's his name that does the Mando music? It can't be him.
I don't.
Bear McCreary. Was that the guy? I think it was Bear McCreary because he did some of the music.
Oh,
but apparently it's Michael Abels. Yeah, Michael Abels is the composer for the Acolyte.
Well, I have no idea. But hey, I like the music. I'm not saying it's groundbreaking, but at least I enjoy it, more than what I'm watching.
Ludwig Göransson, that's the composer for Mando. He did. He also did. Oh my gosh, what was that movie? Why can't I think about it?
The one with the dude in it.
Yes, there was a dude.
Nailed it. I had a 50-50 chance there.
My God. Why can't I think of the title of the movie? I love this movie. The one that came out with Barbie. That they made the big ol'
Oppenheimer?
Yes, there you go. He won an Oscar for Oppenheimer, so he's clearly a great composer.
And here comes Warlock with her answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh man. I don't even know if I want to finish watching it after this. I just
Yep.
I was very disappointed.
I will say that Disney is pretty good about like current day Disney right now with Star Wars is that so as many people as are not watching it, still a lot of us are watching it because it's like a car wreck. We can't seem to look away.
It is very unfortunate that we are at this
because we're curious. We're like, so what happens, right? Because the story doesn't make any sense, so we want to know what happens, even.
Yeah, it's just so weird. And then like another random little detail is that the little girls aren't even twins.
Well,
in real life, but they're not actually twins. And then they grow up to be twins.
They grow up to be identical twins. Yeah, I saw somebody posting that. They're like, they're kind of like fraternal twins when they're kids, but when they're adults,
there's your force defect.
Okay. By the way,
what
would have been cooler too is if May would have had some kind of disfigurement as an adult. For crying out loud, they thought she died. She fell off of a cliff into like a pit of lava, and Anakin comes away with missing every part of his body except for his torso and his head. But May is flawless. She would have been so much cooler as an assassin, no less, too. Have some kind of wicked scar running across her face, like one of those typical ones across the eye where the eye is bleached out. It would look so cool and heinous. Like, I don't understand where the cosmetics,
These are people that are creatively bankrupt, as they call them.
It ain't even hard.
That would have actually helped their story because we wouldn't know from the beginning that they're actually twins. That would have made it interesting. Because you're like,
I should be working for Disney.
Yes. Like, wouldn't that be cool? All of a sudden, there's this assassin that's a little crazy looking, and you're like, why? But why does she have this grudge? And then when they make eye contact with each other and they recognize each other, that would have been like, wait, how do they know each other? Why does she have like this?
Yeah, maybe it was like like when Darth Vader sensed Obi-Wan Kenobi for the first time in years. It's like, why do I get a sense of familiarity, but I don't know this person?
Yeah, you're giving these people way too much credit that they actually care or are that creative.
They don't even bother most of the time. So yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys saw this, but Jeremy, DJ Cobra, was actually locked out of his account today for his opinions on the Acolyte.
Imagine having opinions. Like, what the heck? Like,
yeah, so now be careful, guys. Whatever you say, Disney, I guess, is apparently watching. I think though,
says the gal who got over 6 million views on 2 different tweets. I don't even think DJ Cobra had that many.
But as you see, I think what actually got him blocked, I'm not too sure what tweet did it, but from what it sounds like, it might be something that he replied to. Oh, bye. It might be something that he replied under the Disney account, because he had made a tweet yesterday that he said, ha ha ha, they hid my tweet, and it was the one that's been going around about the 2 women. And he posted that under their tweet, and when somebody replies to you, obviously you can make a little thing to Twitter that's like, hey, this person is being hateful or whatever. Because if you scroll down, he actually shows what they got him for, and it says for targeted harassment. And because that's a protected class on Twitter, you can't say anything about them. They took that as targeted harassment. So that's why all of my tweets and everything, I'm staying away from saying anything about anyone's sexuality. I honestly don't care. The TV show, that doesn't really bother me too much. I think it's ridiculous that it's actually in a Star Wars show. So that's the opinion I have on that. It's stupid because we're not supposed to be bringing in our real world
universe.
It's stupid, but at the same time, I don't care. You do you, as long as you don't come and bother me about it.
Well, it's like everybody's saying, like Epic Mike's was saying yesterday too, and for everybody's been saying for a while, it's not necessarily, for some people it might be, but it might not necessarily be the homosexuality that bothers people. It's so much that they're forcing us to it, like if you want to have like they could have totally, if everything that we heard about this show prior to, there was none of that mentioned, and we only saw that tiny snippet where the leader of the coven with the horned lady there, they were kind of close, and she did stroke her face. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're a couple, even though she created the child, she carried it, whatever. Again, it's science fiction. It's a coven of witches. Weird things happen. It could allude to the fact that they are lovers, right? And in a way, as far as the story goes, that's fine because it leaves it to the imagination, the creativity, and it's like it could be. You could say it's an insert. There it is. But it's not like surrounding it. All you needed was where they were unusually close with her stroking her face, giving some affection, and you'd be like, oh, that's most likely what happened.
Yep.
Instead of everybody going on talking about how C-3PO is a lesbian and all this kind of stuff. This is the stuff that we're gagging about.
Didn't they also imply that R2-D2 is gay or something?
Yeah, they're saying that they're a lesbian couple.
Yeah,
and I was like, all this time, I was pretty sure that they identified as male. They gave off dude vibes.
Yeah,
me too.
But at the end of the day, they're robots, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't think
wouldn't they be considered
robot sexual?
Yeah, wouldn't they be considered non-binary because they're robots?
Well, also, if you remember, C-3PO would often say, well, sir, R2 says, R2 is in the, like R2 says this, he is saying this, that, and the third. Mm-hmm. So his pronouns are he, him. Beep, boop, boop.
Beep, bop, boop. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is all just confusing with everything that they're just trying to do here.
And even Luke says, C-3PO, where could he be?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's canon.
This is, they just like beat us over the head with it. It's like just be quiet about all of this stuff. I remember when House of the Dragon first came out too, they race swapped the Valerians. So everyone made a big deal out of it, right? But then the actor came out, said some things, pissed off the fans even more. And then once we saw the show and everyone was like, oh, wait, no, he's like a really good actor. It doesn't really matter what they did with him, that they race swapped them. Everybody did a great job. That doesn't bother me anymore. Now when I'm reading the book, that's kind of how I see the characters. So they did such a great job that it doesn't matter to me anymore. But the difference is that he actually came out and was like very thankful towards the fans, that everybody was receiving it very well. And they kind of left all that stuff out. And I think they talked about Emma Darcy because I think she does identify as non-binary. I'm not really sure. But they don't beat us over the head with that. Look at the marketing. They're marketing the TV show. They're not marketing her sexuality. So just shut up and watch the show.
Piggyback from what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like, shut up. Just let us not you, Smu, sorry.
Smu.
I'll be going now.
Like they're kind of rude around here. You gotta get over it.
That lined up way too perfect. Sorry.
I know. I thought about that too, and I was like, she's not talking to him, and yeah.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm saying showrunners, everyone who's in charge of
I know my place.
Quiet.
Okay.
Right.
You are on a all girl podcast, so
yeah. Sorry.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
By the way, her makeup though is pretty spectacular, I will say. Except for the lines around the mouth.
I made 2 videos today that I was super excited about it when I saw it.
Yes, and this is where it gets, I don't know.
Of Disney Star Wars disasters. And as so many people are kind of pointing out, it feels like intentionally that Disney is continuing to do this with their heroes, whether it's tearing down Luke Skywalker, whether it's tearing down Han Solo, or whether it's tearing down Anakin Skywalker. Lily puts here, this tweet's going pretty big for her, almost 6,000 likes. Not only did they ruin Anakin's redemption, everything that we saw in the sequel trilogy with Rise of Skywalker, with what they did and the way they had Palpatine return so Rey could really be the one to beat him, but they've also ruined his birth. He's no longer special because he wasn't the first to be conceived through the Force. Fuck Disney Star Wars for destroying my favorite character. I do think that this episode is going to be the one where a lot of people can no longer justify anything. And
yes, they can't.
Shout out to Lily. Look at you catching the attention of the big wig.
And it wasn't just Ryan Kindle, it was actually Az too. I don't know if you can find that one super quick.
I'm gonna find Az. Give me a second.
Because Az really went into it.
So go back to what you were saying about the Valerian.
You mean before she told you to shut up?
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry.
Even though she told me to shut up, I'm the white guy. I'm used
just
to
wanted
it,
to
so it's
clarify.
okay.
Just wanted to clarify.
But yeah, there were some people who were like, "Well, how are you okay with the race swap of the Valerians? But you always complain about different race swaps." I was like, I even had a discussion about this with a friend. I was like, it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you want the most competent actor playing the role, and if it's convenient, you can swap it out.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that it always has to be for woke brownie points or anything. If the actor is competent enough, I mean, Christ, then just roll with it instead of just putting like a microscope underneath it, saying like, yeah, but you always complain about woke entertainment, but you don't complain about this. Why is that the case? Like,
I don't see anybody complaining about Nick Fury.
Exactly, nobody's complaining about him or the Black Panther when he used to be white. And I know it's a meme, but he used to be at some point back in the day.
Must have been South African.
It's been dead for years. Wake up. Lily, who you'll find circulating around a lot of our channels, she made a tweet a few days ago, which did exceedingly well. 4.1k likes, 89,000 interactions. I can't concentrate because all I can hear in my head is, Aaron James, bitch! But once more paling into insignificance with a couple of tweets that she put out yesterday. Wow, 8 minutes into the Acolyte episode 3, and I'm already done. I don't even think this is the controversial part. This isn't Star Wars anymore. I hate it here. 25,000 likes, 3.7 million interactions, and that was swiftly followed up here by not only did they ruin Anakin's redemption, but they also ruined his birth. He's no longer special because he was the first to be conceived through the Force. F Disney Star Wars for destroying my favorite character. 2.9 million interactions, 29,000 likes. But wait a minute, Steph and Lily are both adult biological females, aka women, the very target audience that Disney Star Wars is trying to pander to. But we all know that that's actually bollocks. Chris Gore tried to offer some insight on what he thought.
that one I died a little bit. I was like, oh my god.
I know.
Of many.
So yeah,
Lily, I just want to say, don't worry about being smart because you is famous now.
Oh man, poor celebrities. Yeah, they're not smart. They're just
honestly, you should add scene on RK Outpost or Nerdrotic and here versus Babyface in your bio now. Honestly,
I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna be like as seen on Nerdrotic and RK Outpost.
Yes, the famous Lily as seen.
That's references to get monetized. I'm just saying.
Oh, no.
There you go.
Well, I've been looking at all the numbers and everything went crazy. So I'm like, what the heck? Like, I didn't expect that. I thought it was just some stupid thing that I was saying, and all of a sudden it went crazy.
Yes, I know. But with that being said, guys, this is going to be us wrapping up for tonight's show. It was good conversation.
Can we like wrap up on Theory's faces throughout the acolyte?
Yes, please.
More Theory.
Before we end it, I guess. Yeah, let's go. I got it right here.
Oh, they're so good.
I wonder what part that was exactly.
That's the
many,
the one of many thing.
He's like, I need to get a drink. Hang on a second.
It looks like he's suffering a stroke or something.
I know. He like wants to fall off the chair and just end it all.
Oh. Shit. Oh my god. This whole show is just one giant therapy session for Leslie. It's true.
Yep. It is. This poor man.
That's so sad. I mean, I'm laughing because I can feel his pain. I know exactly.
Right, because you're grifting off the death of your beloved, of course.
I am. If hey, they want to put all this stuff out, I'm going to take advantage of it and roast them because they ruined something I love.
Yes.
Yes.
Lily has always been famous. She's just famouser now.
Ooh, we're making up words.
Most famous success.
We're making up words as Leslie Headland, other known as Thumb Thumb, is making up Star Wars as it goes. Dude, she looks like a Thumb Thumb from Spy Kids.
She does.
She can't help how she was born.
Honestly, someone can just Photoshop her face into Spy Kids.
Tabitha, sorry. Tabitha's so disappointed in us. She's like, guys, there's so much you can make fun of this for.
You know, it is. I agree that she could probably, the thing. Okay, so this is where I step in. This is where I step in. Is that a lot of I'm not saying she is, okay, but a lot of geniuses, a lot of creative type people don't put a lot of stock into their image because they're busy being creative and productive. So
she's not a creator though.
No,
I don't know what she does. I don't know. That's the only thing I could come up with.
That's a lie because you always look gorgeous all the time and you are a creative. So
you don't see me when I'm working. But I'm well, I thank you. I'm also vain, but I would say geniuses and very lucrative creative types, they're just like, but or they have those people that tell them what to wear, because They don't know what to wear. I don't know. It's kind of like, I know I said I needed to go, but it's kind of like when that one lady who got berated by the internet, and I'm completely against it, for her appearance because of Romeo and Juliet with Tom Holland. And while I totally understand that some people might be upset because, again, we're doing this race swapping thing. Number one, it was theater, so it's a little bit different. And secondly, her appearance had nothing to do with her capabilities. And to compare her God-given looks to the Predator from the franchise, I felt was very harsh. And in I don't know if anybody here had that opinion, but I was just like very distasteful too, because now you're literally attacking the woman, not her, not what the creation is, you know. And but you know, I'm gonna take myself off my high horse here and say I do think that one lady, Leslie, she could use
help.
She could have her own Princess Diaries moment, and I would be here for it. I'll just put it that way. She could be on an episode of What Not to Wear.
Yes.
I guess, yeah.
It's just, yeah, I know.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart.
Bless her heart, for real. Yep.
At the end of the day, we all need Jesus.
I mean, I know we shouldn't be making fun of her for her looks. But...
No, I'm not putting you down for it. Like, it is like I'm sitting here like,
man, just when I want to go to the dark side, like Tabitha just pulls me back.
Do it.
Hey, look, it's what Anakin would have wanted.
That's true.
It's true.
That is very true.
I'm here for
Yeah.
Anakin.
Oh, my Anakin.
Qui-Gon deserves justice.
My Anakin, my Anakin. What?
Oh, Anakin, my Anakin. Oh, I like that. Has a nice sound to it.
And that's why we like having Tabitha here, because she always points our vision back to Jesus when we want to make fun of someone who's destroyed a beloved franchise.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying we don't hate her. We hate her. I'm just saying that has nothing to do with her oddly shaped head. That's all. We hate her with the love of the Lord.
No, I can't say this on air. No, I'm not going to say it now. But no, I'll say that for later.
Say it, Smu. No
She
filter.
looks like Robbie Coltrane's stunt double. You know the guy who played Hagrid? I can't unsee her because she has a similar facial structure as well.
Did you see the meme from weeks ago that said when she first was on the scene or whatever like that, where it was terrible, where it says she looks like somebody who tried to draw Gina Carano from memory.
Yes. I saw
Oh my
that.
god!
I saw that. It's very accurate though. It is.
Oh my god.
Smu, don't give them ideas because they're casting for the Harry Potter show, so we don't want her to end up as the next.
We might get Black Hermione as well, so I'm not taking any credit here.
Really?
Gender swapped Hagrid.
Stunning and brave.
Yeah. But with that being said, because we know Smu was our guest tonight.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, so you're killing it in the art game right now. So do you mind sharing a little bit before we head out of your amazing artwork? Yeah.
I don't have that much to share.
Honestly. Oh, okay.
Okay, Tabitha's out of here. Okay.
Tabitha's like, bye.
Nomi was about to make some kind of grand statement, and she froze, and I'm like, uh-oh. And then I got kicked out, and I'm like, well, crap. Now they think
I think you were the problem, Tabitha, because all of us are still here.
Well, you know, in the immortal words of Taylor Swift, it's me. Hi. The problem. I mean, that was my childhood, so.
I mean,
come on, Smu, share.
Yeah. Okay, I know. I mean, you guys have seen most of the drawings already. Anyway, I'll show the ones I still have here because I sent one out today, so it's not here anymore. But you guys have seen Lily, of course. I'm gonna send those out relatively soon, so I'm gonna make sure.
I've seen that woman on Twitter. She has like over 3 million views.
She's like famous now.
She's like almost as famous as other people.
Max, who was here earlier.
Oh, Max.
Oh, look at that spreader of misinformation.
You gotta do better. It's also playing a white mage in Final Fantasy. That doesn't make it better, honestly. But yeah. And of course, Dr. Rachel, we know you're not here today, but we miss you.
She's out being smart too.
Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with that, I guess. But yeah,
See, Tabitha, that's a lie. Smu always looks really great too, and he's a creative. So I'm pushing back on your.
I don't know
Leslie
about that,
Headland. Leslie Headland has no excuse. She's just
lazy. She's lazy. She could do something about her looks, but she chose not to. That's the difference.
Is she lazy or just self-confident?
no.
Both?
No, because you don't like the way she looks, or no, because it's true that she's not self-confident?
She's both, I would say. She's overly compensating for her.
I mean,
her being
it's because
upfronted.
there has to be a certain level where, like, because I obviously I'm a girly girl, right? I could get an extra hour of sleep in the morning and not do all this, but I'm also presenting myself to people, and
Yeah.
I like who are the patients gonna trust if I come in looking like a big old mess or I look like I'm a little more put together? That's how I think about it.
I mean, ideally, most hospitals have this rule that you have to look out for yourself and take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That's the
Like if I
general
look like a mess and I look like I haven't slept and I don't care about my looks, my patients are gonna be like, and she's supposed to care about me? I'm supposed to listen to her tell me how to take care of myself and look at her?
My life is literally in her hands.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's how I think about it. It's a little sacrifice to look nice. I mean, you don't have to do the whole thing. Just
Star Wars is in the hands of Leslie Headlamp. So
No. I love how that name catches on, by the way.
I'm not saying I disagree.
yeah.
That headlamp has been turned on and off multiple times. I'll tell you that much.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, sorry, Nomi.
No.
On the show for like an hour now.
No, but it's good conversations that I'm loving that we can still continue on and like, oh, and this thing about Star Wars and this thing. By the way, they try to draw her. Leslie Headland looks like they're trying to draw Gina Carano.
I just want to go back full circle to the beginning of the show so that we could leave.
Yes, because we do want the
started with one lovely, we'll end it with
the same lovely. Even though we were bamboozled, but we still have hope. A new hope.
Jeremy Boring.
A new hope, as you would say.
Because what just makes that little old ant think he can move that rubber tree plant?
Faith
High
can
hopes.
move a mustard seed.
Hubris.
You guys don't know
Hubris.
Laverne and Shirley? Oh my god.
No.
Hubris.
Sorry, Tabitha. This is her Star Wars theory reaction.
You know.
Yeah.
Perfectly crazy, by the way.
But
Troglodytes.
before we go ahead and end, but Smu, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where can we find you? Where can we see your artwork? What socials do you have?
I mean, I've got Twitter, which is DJ Smu, which is pretty much the same name, just like swapped out. And you can find me on YouTube as Smu The DJ and Gaming with Smu. Those are my gaming and main channels. I will also be on Tabitha's art stream next week Friday. I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
You can always catch me here on Thursdays, lurking in the background in the shadows, providing the girls with links if they need any, or just hanging out with my lovely friends here on the panel every once in a while, playing golf or whatever comes to our minds. And yeah, if you want to see artworks of mine, just go follow me on Instagram with Arts by Smu. That's my Instagram account. I often just post random pictures of myself there or the odd artwork every once in a while, but most of my stuff is on Twitter. So just follow me there, and yeah, that's all I got. And like I always say on other streams or this channel in particular, if you haven't subscribed to Nomi and the other girls, what the hell are you waiting for? Do it.
You heard him.
Wow.
He's a man. Listen to the man.
Do it.
Do
it. Yeah.
I have a Linktree trophy. I actually have a Linktree. It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah. Yes, do it.
Do it. I got the link. There you go. I don't have my Instagram on there, but I will update that. That's actually a good point because I actually remembered that I have an Instagram account. But yeah, there you go. That's all the links I have.
Go follow Smu.
Yes. And then Tabitha, where can we find you?
On the internet, in America, on the
Das
planet.
Internet.
No, exactly. No, I'm on the YouTube. I'm on the Twitter. I always tell people don't follow me on Twitter though. But Dreamy Tabitha is pretty simple. Although now I'm Dreamy Tabitha Art over on my YouTube channel, and this name is self-explanatory. But I do a lot of artwork, and I like to go live from time to time. I also do provide tutorials. People have been asking for tutorials on how to create things, so I'm happy to oblige. And then yes, typically the last Friday of every month, I have my art party where I get a gaggle of awesome artists together, and we do drawing, character design prompts, like on the fly. Like we don't know what we're going to be creating until we cast the die and fate tells us. And it's been some really interesting creations, but we're doing it next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over my channel. I'm going to have Dr. Rachel on over there. Smu's going to be there. Even got 1-800-DANKY coming on the show.
Danky.
Wow. With a bunch of other artists too. He said he was 99% sure that he could make it. So
awesome.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he has to create. We've probably all seen his stuff around the internet, so it should be hoots. It should be a hoot. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, and wanted to talk about the Acolyte, because we know the last time you were here 2 weeks ago, you definitely had some things to say. It's like, no, we got some things to say about tonight. Let's bring her back.
I always have something to say.
Exactly.
Yes, and I love it. And then even though you like to lose bets to me, I still love it. I
don't like to lose bets. I just do.
To be fair, your Captain Hook cosplay was on point.
Thank you. I think for having only an afternoon to figure out what the freak I was going to wear, I think I did pretty good.
You did amazing. It was a good. Yeah, you did a great
Mando
job.
told me the next day that I was still beautiful. So,
well, it's 2024.
I haven't seen that.
It's over on the Kick side. So Tabitha, don't forget to talk about your Kick gaming stuff too.
I'm on Kick.
Yes, that you are.
Dreaming _Tabitha. I'm over on Kick. Sometimes I live stream over there with my art, but typically it's just gaming where we do golf with friends. I do a lot of Star Wars games, OG Star Wars stuff. Kai Voltarn is canon.
Yes, he is. And I will never let anybody tell me otherwise. Even though they tried to give Cal Kestis his outfit in the Last Jedi game, but I'll let that stand.
No, and then Lily, where can we find you?
Sometimes you can find me on this channel fighting with Tabitha about Austin Butler.
Yeah. It's not even good on Henry Cavill, but all right.
Yeah, he has a new movie coming out next week, so we'll probably be talking about that. And Tabitha might come in and yell some more about it.
Feminism. Oh.
Whatever.
I like Lily's argument for masculinity. She's just like, well, he rides motorcycles. It's like, okay.
Listen, this is pretty dangerous because I love Tabitha so much that I can't even get mad that she's roasting.
Don't let your guard down, though.
Hi, Austin Butler. You saw how angry I got about Anakin, but it's Tabitha. I just can't.
Wait till you hear what I have to say about Hayden Christensen.
Oh, I love him.
Honestly, Tabitha should just start the channel Fighting with Tabitha and just have discussions on that channel.
Seriously, it's just gonna fight with Tabitha. And you know what? So we went to go watch the Lord of the Rings movies in theater.
I heard.
And I think that all of that came from Legolas because he's tall, skinny.
Orlando Bloom.
What came from Legolas?
My taste in men after that.
oh, feminine men. Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, look, I can't say much. Thranduil, my cup of tea. To be fair, I do find him a lot more masculine than Legolas, but Legolas I loved too. So, but Boromir takes the cake for me. He was my man. Sean Bean, my man.
Chad.
See, but he's hot too. It's because I don't discriminate like you do.
I know. It's because I'm white.
Who?
And proud.
Oh my gosh.
I will discriminate with my friends all day long because they're my friends.
That's the part of German in you, Tabitha.
That entire movie is filmed it's full of very attractive men, and they all look very different. So
I was married to Billy Boyd in a past life of imagination once when I was younger.
Oh, Billy Boyd.
Yeah, we had 3 kids. They were beautiful.
I worked on a movie with Billy Boyd.
Sure you did.
Yeah, no, I have a picture.
I know you did. I know. I believe you. Look,
Oh.
I do have to head out. It is always a bunch of wonderfulness.
Well, you know, we already did our rounds besides me, and then I'll
Wait, I haven't even finished. I haven't even started.
We were busy arguing with Tabitha.
We'll be here
arguing with Tabitha. Sorry. Anyway, so yes, you can catch us here every Thursday, Dames and Dorks, and we always have all these crazy things going on. Sorry. And then just follow me on Twitter to see what's going on over there. Gonna keep
roasting. Seen on Nerdrotics.
The Acolyte. Yes, as Nerdrotic, Heels versus Babyface and RK Outpost. And then
coming soon to a theater near you.
And then over on Midnights at Espanol, you guys are actually going to see me and Nomi more often on Wednesdays. We're going to try to make their streams as well. So if you're worried that you're not a Spanish speaker, we actually do kind of go back and forth between English and Spanish. Spanglish, yes.
Yes.
We're doing shorts for them over there as well. And then I actually did a short for Polly over on Latino Slant about the Acolyte, and that one did pretty well too. So
hey, talk to Polly. He was supposed to be on my channel last year, but
we'll talk to Polly.
He said I made his painting and he approved of it and still didn't come on. You get on his case, yell at him in white Spanish for me, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just follow
whatever that
me
sounds
on Twitter and I'll update what's happening over there.
Yes. And then as for me, guys, you can catch me on Twitter. I'm not as destructive. I wouldn't say destructive, but I'm not as chaotic as Lily here with her banger of tweets. I just lurk and everything, but yeah, it's the hair, it's the fiery personality. But also on Twitter, you can see me doing the live streams when I'm gaming on Kick. And also I'm on Kick at Nomiwithoutyou, and this channel, which is where you're watching the show, at Nomiwithoutyou. And like Lily said, we are on Midnight's Edge Espanol. We do shorts for them, and you'll catch us there on Wednesdays when we are available.
She just said that.
I know. I'm also repeating that. Okay. And
you Hispanics and carrying on. I'm telling you what, we white people got places to be. Look,
I actually need to tell you something a little bit after this show. But anyway, I'm thankful for the panels that came, the people who came on the panel tonight, Sevvy, Mags, Tabitha, Smu. I appreciate it. Come back. Oh my gosh. Come back again next Thursday. We do have another lineup for you guys to enjoy the show. But as far as tonight, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And I hope you have a good evening, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.